Okay, how is that? Any better? All right, guys, welcome back. We're back on here. Wait till a few people come on. Now, to me, it's looked like it is working. I can actually see myself on the screen now. Boy, the quality's not really good, is it? Definitely serious. All good now? All right. That's good. Okay. The only problem with this software here, it actually says it's I thought it was free. When I click on to go live on YouTube, it came up that that there's only 7 days left. This is a trial period. There's only 7 days left, and then you got to pay a monthly fee, which I saw the monthly fee was something like $20 a month, and I don't want to pay that. So, I mean, this is great. It works fine, but I don't want to start paying a monthly fee for it. So I'm still going to have to try to somehow work out what's going on before. But hey, at least this is working, eh? How's the video quality? To me, what I'm seeing there, it looks pretty poor. Looks and sounds good. That's better. Awesome. Excellent. Ah, cool. You can actually, I can see how this is good. Oh, excellent. Yep, mate, all good. Sweet. You can actually click on these links. I wonder how you get out of these links. Oops, wrong one. Hide. There we go. There we go. So this is what Buck uses. Oh, it looks all right. It's pretty easy. What do we got? Comments, banners. What's in the banners? This is an example of a banner. Show. Oh, sweet. Okay. Use banners to summarize. All right. And so I can create banners, and we've got brands powered by StreamYard. It would be awesome if I could get rid of that powered by StreamYard. Background music, so you can add a bit of background music. Background, bubbles, dark. What's all this? Add background. See what you get by upgrading. Oh, you got to upgrade, do you? Yeah, it's $20 a month, guys, and it's probably that's in US. So you can't use this for free. I'll have to ask Buck. Is he paying to use this? Yeah, I don't want to pay $20 a month for something that I'm not going to use that much, but at least it's working for now, eh? So can't add any backgrounds unless you pay for it. Can't add any media unless you pay for it. So yeah, bummer. Brand color. So I can actually, I can change. Let's go to maroon, shall we? That's not maroon. That's not maroon. That's worse. Where's maroon? Maroon. That's probably as close as we're going to get to a maroon colour. That's Queensland. So I've lost the comment section. Where's the comment sections? I'll go back here. Am I still going to make my own battery? I think eventually I will. Yes. I'm still kind of, technology's changing. It's changing fast. The longer I wait, there seems to be better cells that are coming in from out of China, because unfortunately you can only buy the cells, the individual cells. To build the battery, they come in from China. And once you buy it, I I mean, I was going to do it. I know I spoke about it recently, and I was going to order it all. But when I went to order it all, and I put it in the cart, and I went to flick on the to order it, this stuff, and then they came up the freight was something like $800 for the freight to send to Australia, and I thought, no, that's not worth it. And that's not the only issue. The other issue as well, it's going to end up being above $1,000. So then you've got stamp duties and tax and all that, a GST to pay on it. So I thought it's just not worth it, really. Not at this stage. It's just works. It's not. And plus, when you build these batteries yourself, you need a special charger. You got to charge individually each cell up to a specific voltage, which I believe is 4.5. Is it 4.6? Because as they come, they're only about quarter charged or whatever, half charged. Before you build the pack together, because you can't just grab the cells and bang whack them together, because the state of charge could be too far out. So they have to be fully 100% charged for that battery to work and for that battery to last a while. Otherwise, if you don't fully charge it at a slow rate to, I did know, I need to check again, might be each individual cell, you need to bring them up to 4.65 volts. And you got to bring it up slowly with another charger, and then you got to spend in that. Mind you, if you buy it from overseas, they're only about $150, but that still adds to the cost. And then it's probably the only time I'm ever going to use it. So yeah, it's quite a fair bit of money involved in doing it. So I'd love to build. I mean, I have built these packs before, similar to these. One of my hobbies back nearly 10 years ago was flying radio controlled helicopters, and I've still got them. I've got two now. I used to have more than two, but I've sold all my petrol driven ones, and I've got two here that are stunt ones, and they're both electric, and they use these big cells, lithium cells. And I used to buy the individual cells from Japan at the time, and back then, 10 years ago, they were only about $7 per cell. I kid you not, $7 per cell around 10 years ago, guys. And these are the cells they were just starting to use in the electric car industries. Okay. And then what happened is then the electric cars started getting really popular. And then they were selling all these cells. We're all going for these electric cars at the time when they first started. And then, poof, the price just skyrocketed. And I've still got some of these battery cells. I've still got some. Not sure where they are. I saw them the other day that I actually built myself. And it's very similar. But the cells are slightly different technology. I mean, these ones you get now for the car industry is a lot safer than what this one is. But it's amazing. I mean, it's got like you can charge it like this battery cell would be 10 years old and it's still going fine, and it would have had about 1,000 charge cycles through it, and it just gets hammered like you wouldn't believe, because these are stunt helicopters. They got really, I mean, these are about 1.5 meters long, 2 meters. I've got one here that's about 2 meter long, radio control helicopter. In fact, if you go back to my YouTube channel about 10 years ago, you'll see some videos of me flying that radio control helicopter. Go to Mitzi, Phil. We have the upright fridge in the back of a Pejero too, but running just on an AGM. That's awesome. Yeah, no, those. What do you think of the upright fridge? I think it's I think it's better than I expected. I kid you not. That thing is just unbelievable. It is so efficient, man. It is so efficient. I've been running I haven't gone anywhere than past. I haven't taken my Pejero out for a drive until this morning for 2 days. And I leave my fridge on all the time, and I haven't had the charger plugged into it at all. It's just been running at maximum cold speed. So I've got the fridge set on about 2-3 degrees at the moment, and the freezer is chugging along about minus 27. So it's nice and icy cold. The drinks are awesome coming out of this fridge. And I thought, you know, when I got out and I thought, oh, geez, you know, I haven't put the battery on charge for the last 2 days. And I looked at the state of charge of my battery. It was only down to 51%. So, yeah, I love it, guys. I love it. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like it. There's this misconception that you lose air when you open it, and they work hard to get cold again. No, it's just not the case. The biggest thing I find though is to make sure the freezer's not empty. I find the fridge doesn't seem to affect it. I've run tests with empty fridge and full fridge, and you notice bugger all difference, guys. But the freezer, if you run the freezer empty, then you will notice a bit of difference in power consumption. And in fact, that's another reason why I need to try to get all this set up and working, because I want to do videos about that. You know how last year I had some videos and they've been taken off, particularly the one on the 4 lithium batteries that I had a choice on using. So I was sharing my screen, you know, on my screen here. I was sharing it on this, and then videoing me, and I was taped that, and then I uploaded it, and that video is just getting like 2,000-3,000 plus views per month over the past 6 months. It's just taken off, so I want to continue that style of filming. I got one of the iTech. Would make an awesome beer fridge. It does. I got one of the iTech. You know, it's funny. The iTech World 200 batteries. I was going to buy one of those. Now, this is fair dinkum. I'm not lying, guys. When I rang up the iTech, is that iTech? Is that the battery I got? Hang on, there's our iTech World battery. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Geez, I've been using it for so long, I forgot what it's called. That battery I got, that's an iTech World, isn't it? Something like that. But whoever it is now, I can't even think. I rang them up, and they advised me against the 200 battery, and they advised me to get the 120X battery because it's got prismatic cells in it, whereas the 200 doesn't have the prismatic cells. It's got an older technology. And they said that the prismatic cells will handle the condition that I want to put the battery through better than what this one does. Which is bizarre because a lot of the people are using these 200 amps in caravans and running air conditioners and all that often. So how come they're telling them that, no, you don't buy these, instead get, 2, 3 or 4 of these iTech World 120X batteries and parallel them or series them together, whatever, how many, if you want to go more amps or if you want to go higher voltages or whatever. So it's bizarre. So otherwise I would have got the 200 battery, and if I had it would never been a consideration. But in hindsight, I mean, I was going to buy this one and then eventually get another one and then piggyback them together. And then when I was ready to buy another one at the time, they wanted something. They were up about $1,300 for one of these batteries, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm finding that the single 105 amp, well, the 120X is actually doing the job. It's working for me. Slacking since 1969. Hi, how you going? Nice, clear, but hot day. Yeah, I'll tell you what, my feet, I'm pretty well covered here. I've just got a single, this is a really good quality wool. This is that wool that you can get from New Zealand. Can't think what it's called now. Merino. This is a good quality merino. It's very thin. You can see it's a lightweight, very thin, but makes a perfect base layer. And it's even though it's as thin as that, it's warm enough to get through our winters. No problems at all. My feet's a bit cold. I don't have any. Um, so yeah, I think Steve Fuller's right. Is Steve on? Where's Steve? Is he on? I would think he was be already gone to bed. Steve goes to bed early because he's used to it because he gets up. He goes to bed early and gets up early. The 200 amp hour would be absolutely perfect size for me. So yeah, no, it would have been a good battery. But like I said, the 105 amp is doing the job. The problem I have with the iTech World batteries is they don't have a high enough discharge capacity for what I want to do with it. It's the only reason why I probably won't buy another one. Yeah, merino wool is good stuff. Yeah, you would know too, slacking since 1969 of um, that cold climate you got there. Uh, he's not on, but mentioned it on a recent video. Yep, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he would have gone to bed by now, because he starts work early, so he's got a kind of a routine where he goes to bed and gets up early anyway. So yeah, merino wool, particularly in my opinion, the one you get from New Zealand, they seem to have the best sheep because the merino wool, and doesn't it come from sheep or lamb or something? I don't know. I did know all this. You still using? So you still use 105 amp hour lithium iTech World? Are you still running induction cooking? Yes, with it because I'm about to get the kick-ass inverter to do the same. Yep, I sure am, and it runs a treat on that lithium battery. I tend to only use the induction cooktop if I'm traveling on a daily basis. I'm traveling on the road, and if I pull up somewhere and I want to have a break for an hour or so, I'll whip the induction cooktop out because it's instant, it boils so quick. You don't have to preheat the pot. You basically turn the thing on, the pot's preheated in no time at all. So not like the stove at home. If I want to cook a steak or something real quickly, you got to turn it on and then you got to wait ages and ages and ages for it to heat up the pot enough before you can put the steak in. The induction cooktop is just instant heat. It's just amazing how it works. It's instant heat. It's a lot safer too. It stays cool. You take the pot off and you can put your hand on it and it's cool. If you've got kids around and so on, it's a lot safer. I think it's really taken off the induction cooktops. I know Buck asked that question why I'm going for this and kind of I wasn't prepared for it. I hope I did well, but I'm going to do videos and explaining this and so on. But I still use a gas cooker to mind you guys. I still have um, a charcoal cooker that I like to cook on. I still like to cooking steaks on charcoal. In fact, I've got my fire pits permanently set up in the backyard, guys, and I cook a lot of my food in the backyard at home, like my steaks and that. Because I agree, they when you're cooking on that charcoal, it's really nice. But since I got the induction cooktop, I've been using that more now than I have been using the charcoal. I really like cooking with induction. I think it does a really good job. It's got a lot of heat. Um, so yeah, boxes are so comfortable to sit around in, Jacqueline. I don't know what you. I am in boxers and singlet. Oh yeah, because you're way up north, aren't you? You're up in Bucks County. So yeah, guys. Yeah. So if you I used to do a lot of thanks, Terence. I agree. I think I got a really good setup. I'm happy with my setup. There's just one thing I miss, and as I mentioned before, when I'm induction is great if you're on the move a lot. Because the reason why I say that is because if you got a decent DC charge on your battery, you what you use cooking with the induction, in no time at all. It's just the energy is put back in. Otherwise, if you've got a decent size solar panel on your roof of your vehicle, and the technology now is you can get some really efficient solar panels that are same size and weight of what they were even up to 2-3 years ago, and they're twice the energy of what you could get back then. But I'm talking like 240-volt solar panels. Um, I'm a real advocate. Security alert for, hang on, got a security alert. What's this security alert thing? Hang on, just let me check something here. Security alert on my YouTube channel is something I do not want to. Gmail was granted access to your. Okay, that's all right. Yep, all right. Just security alert telling me that this program I'm using is granted access. Yeah, yeah, slacking since 1969. Yeah, I agree. I think there's no better way to. I'll tell you what. Let me go grab something, guys. When sometimes when I cook on charcoal, or actually in my wood fire, I've got a wood fired oven out the back here. I use this to cook steak on a lot. So just bear with me. I'll go grab it. So I've owned this for years, guys. I've owned this for quite some time. And if you have a look, it's like a really thick, heavy cast iron. I don't know what you call it, the skillet. You can see I've used it a fair bit. And you put this on the fire. It's got a handle. And I've never shown this before. I don't know why. I've never shown it before, but I cook a lot of steaks on this. You got your handle. So you put this inside the wood-fired oven, or you put it on top of the coals, and this gets really, really hot, smoking hot. And then you get your steak and put it on there, and you can just hear it just shears it really nicely. And I mostly use that with the charcoal. I use this for charcoal. I've got two of them, not just one. I've got two, but I use this a lot. So I just and the steak, when you cook on it, and nothing sticks to it, because you can see how well it's seasoned. You can see all the oils and that in it. It's seasoned really well, so you don't need to put a lot of oil in it. You gotta use oil that doesn't burn. So you can't use olive oil in it, otherwise olive oil will burn. So you use a high heat oil like peanut oil, rice bran oil, something like that. Peanut oil is nice, but it's expensive, so I tend to use rice bran oil on it. But you don't need to use a lot of oil. But I do sometimes season a steak with pepper and salt and some rubs, and I season it with olive oil mixed on it, and I put that on the steak. That seems to work. So yeah, I use that a lot. Yeah, Chinese restaurants use them a lot. Yeah, they do. It's amazing. Maniac has a racing car chair for a computer chair. Yeah, it's a terrible chair. I bought this at Super A Mart, and I don't like it. It's still under warranty. I'm going to try to get it replaced. It's a very dodgy chair. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. They're called those skillets. I don't think I have a massive inverter. I think the 1200 watt kick-ass one is what I'm looking at. You're going to struggle to run an induction cooktop with only a 1200 watt inverter. If you can jump it up to 1500 watt, you'll get away with it. But then you'll have to use your induction cooktop on the lower heats. But you got to watch out with certain different brands of induction cooktops. Some on the low heat uses more power, more wattage than what other brands do, and it's a tricky just to find out which one. So yeah, see, Slacking was going for the 4th jab, but good for you, Jacqueline. I've been lucky. I haven't got COVID. I haven't even got a nose sniffle. Not for a few years. I did get the jabs. I'm not going to get any more jabs, any more needles, because, quite frankly, guys, they knock me around big time. They made me feel very lethargic. The last needle I got a bruise on the arm here. That was the size of that. It took a week to clear, and I couldn't move this arm any higher than that. It was major. It was bad, and it hit me like a train. I felt like shit, and I'm just starting to recover from it now. I still don't think I'm fully recovered from it. So I'm not getting, my personal opinion, I'm not getting any more needles, guys. Just don't seem to do too well for me. Yeah, it is a gaming chair. I need it, so I work with little children. Yeah, you'll have no choice, eh? Yeah. You convinced me to get a small air fryer instead of a trouble buddy. Glad I did. Yeah, it's I've got that air fryer there that I bought for $50 that I use instead of the trouble buddy. $50, guys, $50. The trouble buddies are great. The only problem with them is they take so long to cook anything. Whereas and they don't cook it as well. They don't. It's travel buddies are great if you want to do a low, slow, long cook, like a little roast of about a kilo. They are magic. But you put veggies in it, and it doesn't get hot enough to cook veggies or anything like that. With this little air fryer, it's just. I was just in JB Hi-Fi one day, and I saw this little 3-liter air fryer for $52 on sale, and I thought, well, that's cheap enough to try it, and I tried it, and it's been sitting in my vehicle ever since, and that was like about a year ago. So it's awesome for that. Now, I still do use gas stoves if I'm base camping in one spot for a while. Then that's when I will get my, that thing that I showed you, that skillet with a little portable charcoal cooker. That I've got a couple. I've got quite a few different charcoal cookers. A favorite one is a Uniflame. I've got a Uniflame brand one, and I use that, and it actually fits inside the Snow Peak IGT table that I take with me, and I bring that along. Unfortunately, a lot of places you go where I go camping now, you're not allowed to cook with them because you can't have a fire. Not allowed to open fire like when I went to Fraser Island. So we just had to use gas or induction. I didn't bring the induction with me on that trip. I just bought the little gas stove. I love cooking the veggies in the air fryer. Me too. The veggies come out so nice and crispy, and what I like is they cook so quick too. But Terence, you should try cooking some steak in the air fryer, or even a roast. Get a roast. I've got a larger air fryer, which if I get the chance to, if I go somewhere camping and I can run a generator, which has only been twice ever since I bought the generator, then I will take my larger air fryer and then I take a roast and I'll cook a roast in that. And it's brilliant because it saves on bringing a bag of timber. It saves on bringing a bag of charcoal. It saves on bringing, all the heavy fire pits and everything like that. And I just use it for that. And now all those heavy fire pits and all that, as I mentioned before, they're permanently set up in the back of the house, and I cook on them at home here. So I use them at home. I don't use them camping as such. Yeah, chicken, Kate's four-wheel drive. I drive a SUV. Yeah, it can be tricky without a decent sized four drive. You can always get like a little trailer and put some gear in that. Jacqueline, is that how you pronounce your name? Jacqueline, is it? Travel Buddy is fantastic at a camp for a group. Turn it on medium to low and it'll keep your food warm as you cook batches. That's true. Yep. They certainly do get hot enough to keep you warm, for your food warm. 2019 Subaru is what I need. Fridge in back with 120 amp battery. Yep. G'day, Tyler. This is cool. I could sit on these. Bucks found himself a decent little program here, for doing these live feeds, but unfortunately, it looks like you got to pay it. Pay for it though. It's $20 a month, and I think that's US dollars. So it's not something I'm prepared to do. I've got the next week to use this for free. I don't make enough on YouTube to warrant paying $20 US a month for this software. I'm already paying enough for copyright-free music to use on my videos. So I don't really want to spend any more on that. Campfire food tastes 100% better than air fryer. Yeah, Roscoe. Yeah, I would agree with that. But I tell you what, if you know how to prepare the steak in the air fryers, you'd be surprised how well they cook a roast. In the air fryer, the big one that I've got that I use to cook a roast in, but it's very rare I ever do, but because most of the time they are cooked out the back there. Like I said, I've got a permanent setup for cooking out the back. It comes out, the roast comes out really juicy, really nice and juicy. As long as you get it out in the right, the temperature. But I use the Bluetooth thermometer, and it works well in there. But this larger, and when I say larger, it's not too big. It's only about so size. If you go back on my channel, you'll see it's that black one. I can't even think what it's called now. But you just buy it from those home shop, those home shops you see on TV and so on. Those home shopping channels and that. I just got it through there, and I tell you what, this thing is brilliant. It's sitting in the kitchen bench. I use it instead of the oven. I got this expensive oven, electric oven from Europe, in the kitchen here. I don't use it. I use this little $200 air fryer. It does a better job, and it saves energy. It saves power because there's no preheating. You just turn it on and it heats instant. Um, but that's when I use that home. Otherwise, a lot of the food, does still get cooked on the. But I don't like carrying all that heavy stuff with me. I'm always on the lookout for light stuff that doesn't weigh heavy that I can take with me to go camping. In fact, I'm actually looking at buying a new little portable gas 2-burner stove. There's a new one that's just come out by Primus, and I'm looking at getting one of those for times when I want to camp really lightweight, and because I only got a 105 amp battery, and if I'm camping in one spot for 2-3 days, then I tend to use a gas stove. But then if I'm traveling on the road and I'm traveling each day, then I'll get the induction cooktop. Or what I'm doing is when I'm base camping in one spot for a while, during the day I'll use for lunch I'll use, or breakfast I'll use the induction cooktop, because I've got solar panels that will get my battery back up to charge before nightfall. But I don't use it to cook on at night, unless if the battery's fully charged and I'm cooking a meal that's not going to take ages, then I will use the induction cooktop. But if I want to cook something that's going to take a long time to cook, say more than 15-20 minutes or whatever, then I'll grab this little portable gas stove I've got, and it seems to work fine. So now, if I had like a 200 amp battery, then I wouldn't need to take this portable little gas stove. I'll just be able to use the or even better, at night, use my charcoal cooker and cook the steaks on it at night. That would be even better. But a lot of places I go, you can't do. So I do a lot of camping, predominantly in national parks and so on, where I go camping. So and that's where this gear comes up real good. Ridge Rider butane fry pan. We used it on the road when we went to Birdsville, and we cooked everything and saved gas on the caravan. Sweet. How do you find it in the rain? Do you put it under a tarp? Trev Cully, tow about $30 a week to treat. Win me one at the Harvey Bay, Trev. King's extra large single swag. Sweet. Just going through some of the comments here, guys. I haven't been checking out the comments for a while. Travel the same. Just start with the swag and small cooker and see if you enjoy it. You're offering advice to Jacqueline. Is that how you pronounce your name? Am I pronouncing your first name correctly? Yeah. Start with the swag and small cooker. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with starting off with the swag, particularly if you do not have a sore back. I never used this. Well, I have a couple of times. I do own a swag here. I don't know why I bought it. I think it's probably only ever used 2 or 3 times. But it's a real good quality swag. Australian made with Australian canvas, but it's just a plain swag. Okay, it's got no cover or anything. It's just you just open it up and you lay in and sleep. That's it. So there's no head cover or anything. You're exposed. But when I was younger, when I started out, I used to go to Kmart when I started camping. I used to go to Kmart and buy the cheapest tents I could find. So I'd never spend any more than $20-$30 on a tent, and I'd buy those cheap 3-man or 2-man A-frame ones. Quite often you'd go to Fraser Island and you get a storm come through or 20 knots of wind come through, you'll be sleeping in the thing and it just rips apart. So I just grab a tarp and I just roll myself in a tarp and just sleep in a tarp, those cheap tarps that you put on the ground. So a lot of times I camping, that's what I did a lot of the times. In fact, even up until about 23 years ago, I used to go up to, in wintertime, I used to go to the border ranges every year in about September, October, and it usually gets still quite cool there, particularly at night. I didn't bring a tent as such or anything. That's when I had the Range Rover. I used to either sleep in the Range Rover because this thing is big enough to sleep in it, or I just get the tarp out, just roll it on the ground, just roll around and sleep on the ground. So that's what I always did, and I never ever spent much money on camping gear. I never thought much point in it. Everything was just cheap at the time, and that's how I started. And I have used a lot of the King's products as well. I've used the King's awnings and so on. I've still got some in here, though they didn't stay on my vehicle for long. So there's nothing wrong with using those cheaper gears to start off with. But I've learned over the years, in the long run, you will save money if you buy good quality gear and look after it. Then it's going to, you're not going to have a tent that's going to fall apart on you when you're camping, or as soon as the wind blows up to about 20 knots. And yeah, so Dachi is good gear. But you've seen the light and bought a Mitsubishi, Phil. Yeah, the Mitsubishis are not bad, eh? I love that Mitsubishi. But I tell you what, I still wish I had my Range Rover. Man, it's a shame I didn't have a YouTube channel, or YouTube wasn't around. All this streaming and all that was not around in the days when I had the Range Rover, because I did some majorly tough tracks on that Range Rover. That thing was just, could go places where a lot of other vehicles couldn't go to. It was just amazing. And it's a tough vehicle. It's got the gearbox in it's like a truck. I know Andrew St. Pierre White has got one that's very similar to what I had. I think the one he bought, I think it's a 76. I had a 77. I think he's got a 76. It's virtually the same. The color's different. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much the same. I was watching a video, one of the latest videos he put up on it the other day, and he changed the gearbox on it. I cannot think of why would you change the gearbox? I mean, the original gearboxes in those Range Rovers, you cannot kill them. They're gearbox out of a truck, basically. But they are very poor gearing. They're not geared very well. They're only a 4th speed. And if you're driving on the highway, you've got to really rev it a bit to get up to 100 k's per hour. So they're very poorly geared for the highway. And I can probably understand that's probably why he did mention something about this new gearbox he's got is better geared. So he's probably saving fuel there, particularly driving on the highway. but back those days, fuel was only like 55, 60, 70 cents a litre, and you just didn't give a damn, you know. It was cheap enough to just drive them the way they were. How many Ks on the Pejero? 355,000. I know, isn't it scary, Tyler? 355,000. I think that's what it is, yeah. It had 299,000 on it when I bought it. So I've only done 55,000 in the past few years. And most of that was probably the first year I owned it. And then COVID hit, and that's it. There wasn't much traveling then. So yeah, but it's a good vehicle. I look after it. Awesome. Hang on, Terence says, I've heard so 460,000. Wow, that's awesome. I hear so many stories. I have talked to so many people that got Pejero diesels with 400,000 clicks on them, and they're just running fine. They hardly ever spent any money on the motor. So hopefully I can get at least another 100,000 out of it. I'll be happy. That'll see me out for quite a long time, that vehicle. Keep it well serviced, mate. Yeah, I know. I think the most important thing with the servicing is to keep up with the oil changing, particularly the fact that it's got a turbo in it. Use good quality oil and always change the oil filter, and regularly change the fuel filter as well. As far as I know, engine-wise, that's the best thing you can do with it, and keep the tappets tuned. I've not that long ago, I've had the tappets retuned on it. I think that's basically the main things to do with them, isn't it? And I don't drive it too hard. I don't rev the guts out of it. I just you know, here in Bundy, it's like a bit of a lazy town, so it's not like you're in the cities or somewhere. The lights turn green, you put your foot flat to the floor. If you don't, people will just run you off the road. Here, there's just all these old grannies, and they drive around like old grannies and so on around town here. And you just go do like a Sunday afternoon drive. So it doesn't get worked hard. That at least I know the past 55,000 Ks that I've owned the vehicle, it has not been driven hard at all. Need the compact. None of my mates go camping or stuff like that, so it's a little hard. Oh, yes. Solo, Jacqueline, solo. Tell you what, I was like you. I missed out on many camping trips when I was younger, because none of my mates was interested in doing any of that. So I did not go camping. And then when I started I got out of vehicle camping for a while, and got into long distance bushwalking with a backpack. And you reckon you can't find anyone to go camping with you in a 4-wheel drive? Try looking for someone who's willing to go with you and do 2, 3, even up to 4 weeks hikes with a backpack. No chance. And if you do find someone, they're either faster walker than you, and they're always waiting for you, or most of the time they're a lot slower, and they whinge that they cannot handle it. Oh, my feet are sore, my legs are sore, my back is sore, and all this and that. So I just said one day, well, stuff it. I'm just going to jump on the plane, and I'm going to fly to such and such, and I'm going to go walking. And it's the best thing I ever done. You walk at your own pace, you meet people. It's not like you're always going to be alone. I mean, there's been times I've walked, did bushwalks up the middle of Fraser Island and didn't see anyone at soul for 9 days. In fact, not even a dingo. And then 9 days I didn't even see a dingo. So it's awesome. I love my own time. I love solo camping. I love going bushwalking on my own. Also love people. I love meeting people and so on, but I just don't want to be tied up with people that are doing camps with me. There's very few times I've ever found people that I would go camping with on a regular basis, particularly if I bring them in my vehicle with me. So, yeah, as much as a luxury my vehicle is now, there are people that just cannot handle it. People are just like their luxuries of homes and their air conditioners and their heaters and all that and so on. And it's just nothing worse that spoils a good camping trip for me to have someone with me that's just complaining they're too cold or this or that, or the bed's not comfortable, or they don't like this, or they don't like that, or whatever. It's just, yeah. So I do a lot of camping solo, and you get to meet wonderful people on the roads when I was bushwalking, depending where I go. You just meet a different type of people, which is similar here in this, the camping industry. The people are just different. They're just so nice. So, and I'm actually enjoying now camping with other people because I'm meeting so many people that's like-minded like me, like Stephen and all you guys and so on, that I enjoy now going out camping with other people. But I still like me alone time when I'm camping. I love to go out and, and read. I love reading. I read books a lot. Although I don't take books with me, I have, like a phone or something or whatever, or those Kindles, and read. I learn a lot by reading. So yeah. So don't Jacqueline, don't do the mistake that I did and missed out on so much enjoyment in camping or traveling because your mates won't go with you. You'll be amazed how many people will approach you that are friendly. And you approach people, they're very approachable when you're camping, and you'll get to meet a lot of people. I've gone on walks where I've met up with other backpackers, and we end up doing the next 4 or 5 days walking together. So yeah, so I used to do a lot of ultra lightweight backpacking because back then I still had issues with me back. And what do? You either go ultra lightweight or you cannot go bushwalking anymore. So I just my backpacks are only like 400 to 600. The heaviest backpack I got is 650 grams, and that's my big backpack that I take on the very long distance walks. It weighs 650 grams, guys, but it's custom made, and it's not from Australia. It's from America. So it's used some gear like Dacron. I've got gear that's made out of, I've got tents and I've got tarps that are made from Cuban fiber. I don't know if a lot of you people have heard of Cuban fiber, but do a search on it. It's like a plastic bag. See? It's as thin as a plastic bag, but it's very, very strong. Very strong. Yeah, tent got eaten. Yeah, perfect place for your tent to get eaten is Central Station on Fraser Island if you leave any food inside it, even just crumbs from biscuits. So if you go camping at Fraser Island, don't eat inside your tent because at Central Station they got these, what are they, like a bandicoot? I don't know, are they bandicoot? They look like big rats. And we stayed there for one night a month ago when we went over. And you should have seen these little things running around everywhere. It's just like these big rats just running around. It's exactly the same as it's always there. It's exactly the same as I remember. They're not rats, are rats, but they look like it. And they get up close to you, eh? It's amazing the wildlife there. You should have seen. I couldn't believe it as soon as it got dark. What's that noise? You get the torch over, and there's like a dozen of these little rat things running around your camp. And go, holy shit! And you put your feet up. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah. So so Jacqueline, just go out, just go camp. You'll thank me later. And it's what I did, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. Stop when you want to, go where you want to. Um, I just love to jump in the vehicle and just go. Like Fraser Island nowadays. I hate nowadays that you have to pre-book your campsites, mate. I don't pre-book campsites, guys. I don't pre-book. I don't pre-book them. I go over there and I drive around. I find a spot, and as long as you can get access to internet, and if you're on Telstra, a fair chunk of that island you can get access to. Jump on, you find a nice spot. Oh, this is nice. Where am I? Oh, Camp Zone 7. Like I was at Camp Zone 7. So I thought, got the phone out. This looks cool. There's a nice gutter out the front to fish here. You know, this was on the second day. Oh, let's camp here. Yeah. Got out the phone, no signal. Oh, bugger. Oh, no problem. I'll just drive about 4Ks down the beach to just past the Mahino wreck. Got signal, booked my campsite, went back, set up camp, grabbed the rod, started fishing. Within the second cast, we're starting to pull in big tailor like this. So, yeah. And then we camped there. Originally, I booked there to stay there for 2 nights, but we decided because we were going to go camping on the other side of the island, because on the following Monday there was a strong southeasterly came in, but the southeasterly came in a day earlier. So we thought Monday afternoon, the wind started picked up. We thought, bugger this, let's pack up, let's go and go camp at Awinya. So we just went to Awinya, and on the way there, we bumped into a ranger, and we told him, mate, can we transfer this over to Awinya Creek? Not all of them will do it, guys. Not all of them like it. Although you can now, there's a new feature on the bookings. If you go to book your permits and you pre-book your permits now, you can modify it. You can modify your camping permits. And that's what I did, because we decided we were going to go up and camp at Wathumba Creek for 4 nights. But talking to people, and they said the mozzies are so bad there, they'll pick you up and take you away. The fishing is shit up there. It's not what it used to be and so on. So we've been told. And so we thought, okay, we won't go there then. So I went online and I modified my bookings to where I was staying. Yeah, just did that. So I don't go there and pre-book a site. I like to change depending on the conditions. You know, if I'm driving along the beach, I find a nice spot, there's no wind blowing. No, let's pull up and camp here. I like the freedom. I don't want to be held like a book a site a year in advance. That's why I don't go during school holidays, guys. I just don't go to the place during school holidays. If you saw one of the latest videos I did, where I went to Eli Creek, and me and my mate were walking through Eli Creek. We were the only two there. We were only two that's walking through that Eli Creek, and a lot of you should know that's been there before. It's like a mad rush, like Boxing Day sale. Usually every day of the year, it's like Boxing Day sale. uh, So, guys, that's how I do it, and that's how I've been doing it for years. I've been going to Fraser Island camping there for well over 40 years. Someone asked me recently, how many times do you reckon you've been over there? And I think I sat down and I worked out it would have been between 30 or 40 times at least I would have gone to Fraser Island camping over there. And that's how I always do it, guys. I don't pre-book a site, and because you don't know what the conditions are like. You don't know what the gutters are like. You might drive along and you find a better spot. And, and another thing too, I've found, I took my nieces with me. It's the first time that I went there during the school holidays. It was about 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, during the September school holidays. So that's nearly 3 years ago. I took my two nieces, my younger sister's girls, over to Fraser Island. They'd never been there before, so I took them there camping for 10 days. I tried to get into the sites where it's dingo proof, but because of school holidays, a lot of those sites were already booked out, but it was fine. I know how to deal with the dingoes and so on, and they weren't an issue at all. But we're up at Waddy Point, and this is the school holidays, and you go online, it says that Waddy Point's booked out. We went to Waddy Point, looked around, and there was hardly anyone camping there. So I said to the ranger, I said, mate, what's the go here? Can I actually book? Can I book with you a night here? Yeah, no problems. Yeah, there's free spaces here. You can book. Just go up to the office here, and I'll check you in. So even though it said online that it was booked out, there were sites available, and I think they do that, guys. I don't think they book everything out. I think they actually do allow some sites for walk-ins as such. People like me that just went in there, and we were good then. We ended up camping there for about 4 days. I love Waddy Point. I love camping at Waddy Point. It's an awesome campsite there, and you can have a fire there. You can have a fire there. You just got to bring your own timber. But it's one of the very few places where you can have a fire. I'll just be blubbering on here, guys, and I haven't checked any of your questions here. What's the time? 10:15. That's all right. Off track family. Boy, oh boy, do I clock some criticism, all right. I love this channel, guys. These guys are lovely. I just now realised who you are. Is it Emilia? Emilia? Is that it? I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I've been following this YouTube channel, Off Track Family, for a while now, and I'm helping these guys out with their setups and their vehicle. And you reckon my setup is awesome, guys? Just go on the YouTube channel, go on the Instagram. They keep it updated on Instagram, and check out their setup. But these guys are awesome. They're lovely people. We chat almost on a daily basis, don't we? Sharing our camping setups and so on, and I've offered them some advice. Wonder if you receive some critics about your setup like we have. Yes, many say here around Europe it's useless to have such a killer electrical setup, and we are much criticised about our new setup. Pretty much the same here, guys. No difference. Oh god, this is, there we are. love your setup, Phil, and thanks so much for all your help. No problem, guys. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. These guys are a lot more popular YouTube channel than me. They've got a lot more subscribers to me. And they've got like a Defender. And there's a way this thing is what the driver these guys, they have fun. I mean, they really put this Defender through its paces, like I used to years ago when I had my Range Rover. So it's quite enjoyable to watch. And the setup they've got in there, the electrical setup, is awesome. Just you got to get used to that. People will knock you. A lot of people try to tell you it's not camping, but it is camping. Why camping doesn't have to be sitting around a fire all the time. Like we can't do that now in national parks. You can't sit around a fire anymore. You're not allowed to have fires here in Australia. There's so many places that we're just not allowed the fires. And then you've got the fire ban. You just don't have the fires. So you have to then use a gas cooker or induction cooktop. In saying that, these type of setups that I've got in my vehicle is starting to become very popular here in Australia. There are a lot of people that are starting to do it. As you're aware, I mean, look at Andrew St. Pierre White. Pretty much similar setup of what I've got. And I was watching one of his latest videos when he went away and did 2-3 days drive with these missus, and he was saying, and particular her saying how she loves it. She loves the induction cooktop. She loves cooking, with it when they're camping. And yeah. So yeah, definitely slacking since 1969. Off Track Family. Check out their setup. Their adventures that they go on is quite amazing. Some of the places they take this 4-drive. They've set it up to handle it, and boy, do they have fun with it. I love watching those videos, guys. It brings me back to younger days. Jacqueline, my humble opinion is a 35-litre ARB Classic should be more than enough for you. No freezer because not a dual zone, but being ARB, it's nationally backed, and I think it's a great value. Yeah, I would agree. I would go over an ARB over an Angle. I don't like the Angle, guys. Don't like the Angles. I've got one. Don't like it. Don't like it. When I went to Fraser Island, my mate bought a brand new 32-litre Angle, the latest one. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. No, just don't like the Angles. Don't know, they just don't do it for me. They're not as efficient as the other fridges I got. I can't handle their heat. Just, I don't know. You look at them, they've got the insulation's that thick. Just, I know a lot of people rave on about the Angles, but I just don't see what you see in them. I think there are better compressors out there now. Technology has changed. The technology is updated. I think there's better offerings out there. The Angles are heavy, they're overpriced, they use a lot of power if you use them as a freezer. I like the looks of the ARB ones. They do look really nice. Talking to the ARB guy, I know one of the guys here in the ARB, he told me don't buy the early ones. They get a lot of the, I don't know, is the ARB Classic on the early ones? Get the latest ones that they've come out with. Those really nice ones, the two-tone grey or whatever. Because they're early ones, he's told me they're just now starting, that was sold about 3 years ago. He told me that ARB are starting to see quite a few of them coming in for warranty repairs now after 3 years. Quite a lot of them, actually. So I think the newer ones, he told me, are much better than the old ARB ones. And this is a guy that works for ARB that told me this, guys. So, yes, Off Track Family, guys. Check out their YouTube channel. They're all running the Danfoss compressors now. A lot of them are. You know, those Danfosses aren't too bad, the compressors in them. They're actually pretty good. They've been around for a long time. That's the thing about the Danfosses. They've been around for a very long time. And so they're proven. They last. They're built to last. They last a long time, I think. So there's nothing wrong with it. Although they're not Danfoss anymore, are they? There's another company that took over and they've got another name now. I can't remember what they are. I work for Toll Phil. I deliver heaps of King's fridges. Yeah, King's fridges. I mean, if you're on a budget and you can't afford to spend, over $1,000 on a fridge, go buy a King's. They got reasonably good warranty. They got the Danfoss compressors in them, I believe. There's nothing wrong with getting one of those when you're first starting out. If you haven't got the money, just go and buy one of those. Yeah, we've been teaching. Yeah, C cop. Yeah, there's something with a C, isn't it? Something I can't remember. When I found out that they were sold out and been took over by another company, it got me worried that are they going to lose the quality of what these Danfosses were? But they still say C-Cop. That's it, C-Cop. Jason's got it spot on. That's the one. So those Danfosses are now called them. They're now C-Cop. And a lot of the budget, you'll notice all the budget fridges all come with these. Not all of them, but most of them all come with these C-Cop compressors, and they're really good. I find them highly efficient for what they are, and quite often these fridges have got really good insulations that works really well in our climate, particularly up here where I live. When it gets hot, man, guys, it gets hot. It is hot. And then when you team that up with a car parked in the sun on a day that's 35 degrees, and you wait and see how hot it gets in the vehicle, and the angles, they cannot handle that. They fail big time, in those situations. That angles. Um, I just don't like them, guys. Don't like them. I'll never buy one. Never, 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 never. Never buy another one. I tried selling my Angle 42 litre Angle, but I didn't get any takers. I must have been trying to ask too much for it. Don't know, I only had about $700 on it. It comes with all the extras and it hasn't got a mark on it. There's not one scratch mark. I guarantee you go have a look at that. You will not see a single mark on it. Not a dent, no scratches, nothing. I couldn't even sell it for 700. I'm not going to let it go any cheaper than that. Otherwise, it'd be just like giving it away. So I just kept it. It's just sitting in the spare room in the house. I like the kick-ass 75 litre fridge is a lot better than that 42 litre Angle. I've had that thing sitting in the hot car on some of the hottest days that we've ever had, and all the icicles, the whatever I had in there that's frozen just remains frozen. It's just loves it. Just particularly the new fridge I got, the Waco 110 Coolmatic CRX 110 litre fridge freezer. It's known as a tropical fridge freezer So it's the hotter it is, the better it works. Kid you not, it loves heat. Hot, hot, hot. In fact, it's even this particular one I've got that it's even got some type of a heating system built into it. So when it's below 16 degrees Celsius, it actually warms it up, so it keeps it running efficiently. And I could go. Can I wonder if this StreamYard, can I share a web page on here? I'd love to go and show you what my fridge is running on right now. How do I do this? Share. What's a share? Share slides, share video file, share screen. Okay. All right, let me see. Let me open up another browser here and see if I can share a screenshot. Okay, I'm just going to get this up. I can remotely connect to my my system. This thing's got all the technology on it. Okay, love to. All right, let me see. Share screen. It's easiest with two monitors. Screen sharing works best on good computer. Oh, I hope it reckons my computer's good. What do I do here? Share. Entire screen. No, just a window. Yep, perfect. Okay, how do I do this? Share. Does that work? Oh, look at this. Voodoo land. Didn't work. Okay, sharing the wrong screen. So how do I share the other screen? Share screen. Let's try Chrome tab. No, I got nothing. That's personal on my computer. I'll share the whole screen. Now, if I go in here, now can you? Oh, how am I going to do this? I don't know. What can you see on the computer? Can you see my Victron Energy installation on here? If someone can type back and let me know if you can see it or not. Did that work, guys? So you could see it. Okay, I'll just have to go back here and check the comments. I can see it. Okay, good. So if I go on the Victron Energy, so you can see the screen. So I'm remotely connected to my vehicle. Now I can go in here, click on this. I've got, hang on, let me drop the, whoa, that's worse. There we go. All right, this is a quick overview of my system setup here. It's now on real time. It's showing real time data. So I've got, let's show details. So you can see my fridge is now currently at 3.6 degrees Celsius. The last 24 hours is between 1.8 to 4.5 degrees Celsius. So it hasn't gotten any warmer than 4.5. That would have been when I went in there to go and get some stuff out of the fridge. It even tells me what the relative humidity is inside the fridge. And look at the freezer, it's minus 25.6. The last 24 hours is between minus 29 to minus 16. is the coolest it's got, and that's the current weather that we've got right now, and this is the charge cycle and now. So you can see it's on shore power. I've got it connected to shore power at the moment. As I mentioned, I didn't have it connected for a day. You can see here how much power used. I can go back, but you go into advanced here, guys. And this is where all this interesting data, this is state of charge, solar energy, if I had solar power, this is the battery temperature. This is the temperature of the battery. Okay, what it's at. Whoops, let me go back to reset that. So this is shown over today. I can select over the past 7 days. I can select the past 30 days, 6 months, whatever. Gives me, this is all saved on the, all uploaded to from my vehicle up to the VRM, and this is more information on the battery. But I want to show you ambient temperatures, so you can see the humidity and the ambient temperature. This is what technology can give you, guys. This is another reason why I love this technology, this 240 volt setup and the Victron gear. It's all this stuff you get. This is a freezer, so you can see it cycles between minus 16.5 down to 28 up to minus 17 to 28. It's constantly cycling like that. Battery voltage, so on. These are the Dometic fridge. This is the amperage. You can see it's only drawing on average 1.8 when it's running, 1.8, 1.7. You see here 1.8. These here where it's right down here, that's when it's cycled off. Okay, so this is during the day. This is through the night. You see it's running from, let's say, from last night. It's turned on about 1:15. It switched off at about an hour later, and it didn't switch back on until just over an hour later. So it's so efficient. It's got such good insulation. Once it gets to the temperature, the thing shuts down, and it doesn't start for like an hour and a half. And when it does run, it's only drawn about 1.8 amps. You can see here, 1.7 amps. There it shows you 24 watts there as well. You can see initial startup, when it just starts up, boom, 2.83. Okay, and then it's now dropping down, 1.8, 1.9. And yet I'm getting like minus 28 in the fridge. And the fridge is what, about between 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. Now, mind you, this is during summer. Okay, this is during summer. So I hope you can still see all this. I can't see any comments. And then, of course, you got other, I got the BMW 712 state of charge. You can see the state of charge, and then I put it on charge, and it's 100% now. Smart shunt 500 amp load current. That's my fridge. Okay, whatever that is. This on the red is the fridge. So you see here today when it got a bit warmer today. I noticed here from about 20:01. It ran continuously right through to about 3:30. But I can go and see, okay, how come it's ran that long? I can go up here and I can see, you can see here the ambient temperature. See this area here? It's got up higher. So we can reach an ambient temperature over 20 degrees today. So, yeah. So very efficient. Here's another data here. In fact, if I oops, wrong one. If I go back to, say, 30 days, give you the data over the last 30 days. You can see here. Okay, see this blue line here? This is showing the kilowatt hours that the fridge has consumed. So I zeroed that off here on the 11th of the July. Okay, midnight 11th of July up until the 16th. So what's this? 5-6 days or whatever, coming on to 6 days. My fridge has only consumed 2.41 kilowatts hours. Now you can convert that using maths. You can convert that to amps. What it consumes. So this is just the data off that, and this is just temperatures, the ranges of temperatures you can see here. You can see here when I had the fridge on setting number 3. For those people who happen to own any of these Dometic Coolmatic CRX upright fridges, I've been finding that there's 4 settings you can set on this. Okay, you can see here the temperatures are higher. You can see the fridge temperatures is between 7.3, 5, and then on 7.3 up to 7 and so on. So I've changed it from this date here. I noticed that the temps are a bit higher. That's setting number 3 than what I was getting through summer. So what I did is I set it at setting number 4. So I'm finding that you can see there, I'm finding that in summer, I actually get set the temp setting at number 3, and in winter set it at number 4. And what that is you got a temp range. It's not like a conventional, we'll go out of that now. It's not like a conventional fridge freezer that you pull out, and you can adjust the temperature. Like if you wanted 15 or minus 15, you go to minus 15. Well, these upright fridges, you can't do that. You've got settings that are 1 up to 5, or some have got 1 up to 7, like the Bushman and that do. Mine's got 1 to 4, so you get so 1 is the warmest, 5 is the coldest. You want to actually set them, particularly with this particular one, you want to set it to number 4, the coldest during the winter. Otherwise, if you set it at number 3, now if I set it at number 3 in summer, I get similar temperature range of what I just showed you. And yet in winter, it doesn't work as efficient. It doesn't work as well. It's at setting number 3, but you can see in number 4, it works perfectly fine. And it uses bugger all power as well. So, yeah, that's how I'm finding it. So they're tropical fridge. They're classed as a tropical fridge. So they don't, you got to set them at that number 4 if the temperature's below 16, getting down below those temperatures. And then, as I mentioned, it's got that feature where it actually heats up. So if anything, it actually even uses more power there. You do have the option of turning that off if you want. Now it's only I think it's only the 110 litre that's got that. If you buy the 80 or the 50, you do not have that feature. So you want to be careful if you go into an upright fridge. You need to be careful, and you're in a cold climate. You want to seriously consider trying to go for that 110 litre for that feature, that warming feature that it's got there. So did that work, guys? Did you actually see the graph? Did the graph show up? Yeah, so it's a very energy efficient fridge, and it's 110 litres, as you can see. And since day 1 that I bought it, it's on 24. The only time I turn it off, once a month, you got to let it defrost. It says that in the manual as well. In fact, it's probably about 5-6 weeks now since I've defrosted the freezer, because you do get the ice build-up inside the freezer. So, yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad that that showed up. Awesome. So that's one trick, guys. These I don't know the Bushmans. I really haven't had a look at the Bushman ones. I heard they're supposed to be pretty good, although the Bushmans have got those Seacock compressors in them. I don't think they're as efficient as the compressor in this Dometic. This latest Dometic, the Coolmatic CRX 110L that I've got, has got their latest technology compressor in it. And I think it's more efficient and better than the Engel ones that are out now. And I just proved it to you there, guys. You just saw how energy efficient that is there. I just showed you then through all that data. It's got all the data there, all to prove it. I'm going to have a video out on this one day to show that data. And I've been comparing one of the tests that I did while I was on Fraser Island. I was monitoring what the power consumption of the 32-litre Engel fridge and the power consumption of my 110-litre fridge freezer. Now, we're comparing between a 32-litre fridge against a 110-litre fridge. My 110-litre fridge walked over that Engel big time. That Engel was a pain in the rear end. There was times there where I had to jump in the vehicle and go for a drive just to get my battery level up, because that Engel was just using up so much energy out of my battery. Oh, I couldn't get a day out of it. I could not get a day out of my battery. And this is in winter, guys. This is not summer. This is in winter, running that friggin' Engel 32-litre. I couldn't get a day out of it. And yet, look at my similar temperatures to when I was over at Fraser Island. And yet, look at my 110-litre fridge. It was been on for 2 days without charging, without driving. And the battery was at 51% charge. I could get 4 days. 4 days out of that fridge I could run on that battery at those temperatures. So, yeah, that's another reason why I hate Engels. Hate them. And oh God, please shoot me if I ever go and buy one. No, don't. I won't buy one. Even if someone want to give me one, no, you can keep it. I don't know. People just say they're so efficient, but oh man, this thing was it's just going through the power like you wouldn't believe. Couldn't believe it. It's just crazy, guys. We have I've heard these, I suppose, we have a Vitrifigo 12-volt fridge under the lamp. It's like your mate runs. It's like your mate runs great. Yeah. So it's quite amazing. In fact, here in Australia, running these upright fridges is more popular than overseas. When I first started running the Dometic Coolmatic CRX 110L in the back of my Pejero, and I started sharing images on my Instagram, I had someone from Dometic contact me, sent me a PM, and he was intrigued. He said, "You're running one of our fridges in the back of your 4 drive?" I said, "Yeah." Because he was in America. He works at Dometic. And he said, "That's the only time and first time I've ever seen one of our fridges run in the back of a 4-drive cab like yours. And does it actually work well? I said, mate, it works brilliant. And I said, in fact, here in Australia, a lot of people are starting to go to upright fridges. And he was intrigued. He was, wow, we only sell them for caravans here, or motorhomes, or big camper vans. That's it. No one has ever come in and bought one for 4-drive. So he was quite intrigued. He was amazed at that. Must be doing something wrong with that angle. I can get 2 days out of my AGM battery. Easy temp set on 2, never reaches 3. We ran it as a freezer. Angles run fine as a fridge, but run them as a freezer and you'll see. Run them as a freezer. I don't think their insulation's good enough to run as a freezer. So I probably should have mentioned that before. We ran that as a freezer. And it's not that it wasn't empty, it was full. We had steaks in there, we had meats, we had sausages. My mate bought a whole heap of pilchards. It was full of pilchards, frozen pilchards in it. And it was full. But that thing was just took the power out of my battery like you wouldn't believe. Like I said, there was days where I had to jump in the 4-drive and go for an hour or 2 drive just to get charged into that battery of an afternoon before nightfall. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made it through the night. The battery would have went flat. I've never had that issue before, only when I had that angle in the vehicle. So we ran that the whole time as a freezer. And with my 42-litre angle, I always found the same as well. Whenever I ran it as a freezer, it failed. It used up a lot of power, and particularly in summer. And when it was really hot in the car, stuff was thawing out. It could not keep the stuff frozen. And I had the same problem. I thought there might have been something wrong with my angle or whatever, but I had it tested and everything, and they all claim it worked fine. And then now that I see this thing here in the middle, I cannot imagine what it would be like running it in summertime. Yeah. Demotic. I love that. I'm sure I know what you mean, demetic. You're demotic. It's funny. I go to BCF, right? I'm nearly going to buy the Dometic little 25-litre fridge freezer, but I decided against it. But I tell you what, it's not easy walking into the local BCF store wanting to buy a Dometic, because the salesmen there push you to angle. It got to the extent where they talked me out of buying another fridge. I thought, this is just crazy. I'm not going to. Anything that could say that's bad about Dometic, they said it. I just could not bag it. And I said, mate, I've got a Dometic upright freezer in my vehicle. It's been running non-stop since the day I bought it. And it's the best thing I ever did. It's the best decision I made. Oh, okay. Oh, well. They just pushing people. Maybe they make more money on angle. It's one thing I've learnt with life is, for me, it's very difficult to trust a salesman. There's very few salesmen that I would trust, and they're only the ones that I know personally. Otherwise, I walk into a shop and I go buy something. I don't listen to the salesman. whatever they blabber on, guys. I do the research myself. Good old YouTube, Facebook, these Facebook groups. So many places you can do your research if you put the time and effort in it and find out about these products. So I don't walk into shops and ask salesmen's advice for anything that I buy. And that's one thing that I've learnt in life. I used to trust them all, and I was bitten so many times by doing that. You're a bit tired? Yeah, no, I'm pretty bright. I'm pretty alert, eh? I'm not tired at all. Dometic don't like finishing their products. Who bought a Dometic AM2350 fridge for the van? It was missing most of its insulation on the outside. Truth. I thank God my fridge is not like that. I have 3 Engels, 30 years old, heavy on power. I believe the old Engels are better than the new ones now. So I've heard, even though they use more power. They certainly do use a lot more power, but I tell you what, they were built better back then than I think they are now. Here's the thing, guys. I was told that Engel build their fridges to cope with the more popular areas where they're sold. They built for that market, and that doesn't include Australia. If this is probably controversial, but I've been told by people in the know that when it comes to Engel, they're not built for Australian conditions. If they were, they will come out with better insulation. Even on the lids, if you look at their lids, they got this really thin rubber strip to seal the lid. Okay, you have a look at my Dometic and you have a look at how thick the insulation is. It's like that. While the Dometic actually is not really thick, it's not much thicker than. It's quite amazing. The Dometic is not much thicker than what the Engel is, and yet it does a lot better. But if you look at the insulation on the door, how thick the door is, in particular the kick-ass fridge, and the strips, the insulation strips, are proper fridge strips that you'll see in your household fridges. They're really wide and that thick, so they're really good seal. That's what I think that's one of the biggest issues that they're having, that I have with Engels run as a freezer in our summer, is the insulation is not good enough for our environment. That's my opinion. And that's what someone in the industry told me once, and to me it makes sense. So there we go. Lucky there's not too many people watching right now, eh? Otherwise I'll get hammered big time for knocking Engels. But I'm an honest person. Their warranty is crap. I've heard, as that in regards to the Dometic, I have heard that their warranty is not as good as what Engel and that is. I have heard that. So I don't know. I've never dealt with the warranty with them. BCF's the only shop we got in ARB, but that might be out of my budget. Oh, that's right, because you're where you are. Yes. Yeah. BCF sometimes have good sales on. I tell you what, Jacqueline, the other day when I went into BCF, they had a I don't know if your local BCF store sells them, but they had a Dometic, it's about a 35 litre for $500. It was an older model. It was either last year or the years before model. It was $500. So I paid to go in there and have a look and see if they sell them in the Bundy store. The last time I went and looked in there the other day, they had them in there. 500 might have been 520. I mean, something between between 500 to 540 or something like that. What a bargain. So yeah, might pay to go back in there and ask them about that. Trailblazer, Sunny Coast. They're the ones that make those fiberglass eskies. Is that the one? I've got one of their fiberglass eskies, and the insulation in them is quite amazing. It's incredible. Expensive esky, 60 litre. But I used to buy, this is the days before I got into the fridge freezers. And I used to buy, in Bundy, we used to get what they called super ice. You buy a block of this super ice. It was a big block. The 60 litre was too big of an esky for me. But the only reason I went for it over 40 or 45 litre at the time was so I could fit one of these big blocks of super ice inside it, because they used to freeze these to some ridiculously cold temperatures of minus 22 or minus 25, and they were just solid. And you put that inside this esky and it lasts me a week. I used to get a week out of it. But they don't do that. They used to be called super ice. They don't do it anymore now. That's all gone. They don't sell that super ice. And used to buy this big, huge slab that it was that big, it just filled the whole base of the 60 litre esky. So, yeah. No worries, Terence. Thanks. North Coast is the company. Yeah, no, it must be not Trailblazer. It must be another one. What's the other company there that they're making the fridges? They'll sell those fridges in the dot trailers. What are they called again? There's another Sunny Coast company that makes the fridges there, although a lot of the fridges nowadays are not made there anymore. They're imported from China. I don't know if they even make the fridges there anymore now. They used to up until, geez, I can't believe I can't even think of what it's called. Wow, hour and 48 minutes we've been on for so far. How cool is that? Evercool, that's the one. Evercool. Yeah, I think that's it. Evercool, those Evercool fiberglass. They were like, I can remember, I bought it years ago, and it was like $450 or $500 for fiberglass ice esky. They were the dearest, but I used to get these super ice blocks that last me a week, because I used to use them when I went to go to Fraser Island, because you had to save some money. Because I remember during the summer, you go to Fraser Island during the summer, and you go over there, and if you're staying there more than a week like I normally do, and then your ice runs out, and then you've got to go to the stores there to buy the ice. Well, of course, you know what they do there. They don't sell the block ice. They sell party ice, okay? And in party ice, inside esky, in the middle of summer on Fraser Island, you're lucky to get a day out of it. And then, of course, they sell them really expensive because they're high rate. I don't know why they charge like Fraser Island's probably got the most expensive fuel price in Australia that I've seen. It's even dearer. The fuel prices there is even dearer than what it is in the centre of Australia, around Birdsville and all that area. So of course they got high inflated prices there. It's funny, and yet it's like within half an hour, a boat ride over from the mainland, and they're the most expensive in Australia for diesel and fuel and in general. But that's what they do. Of course, they purposely don't have the block ice, and then you got no choice. If you want your food to last, then you got to go back there every day buying party ice. And it'll be nothing by the time you come back at camp spending 40, 50, 60, even 70, $80 on ice. Oh, thank goodness those days are gone now. We are spoilt today with our choice of gear. So they purposely don't sell by the block ice so that they sell you the party ice in little bags for $10, $12, whatever they were back all those years ago. And you pour it in there, and it's usually not enough, so you got to buy 2 bags. And then you wake up the next morning, even on the best esky that you can buy, fiberglass thing, you can't get a day out of it. I think it's crazy. All right, guys, we might knock off too. I need to get a drink. It's 11:04, so it's not too bad. This has been pretty good. I see I've only got 7 people on, but that's okay. It's all right. I don't know whether I'll let this see a few controversial stuff tonight. They'll probably really upset the angle brigades, and so I think I'm going to delete this live feed. I don't think I'll leave it up on my YouTube channel, so I don't cop any abuse from the loyal angle fraternities or any other brand that I might have knocked tonight. So yep, here we are. What have we got here? As long as you have a large enough tarp over your tent and room underneath for kitchen and hanging out area to protect you from the weather, you should be fine. Do you agree, Terence? Yeah, my oath. Tarps, big help. Yeah. Of course, I don't need to take a tarp anymore. The tarp is my 270-degree awning. And I've got a rooftop tent that no water gets in, not even a drop of water gets in. So with the quality canvas and that, I don't need to worry about that. But when you're starting out with cheap gear, you're camping, get yourself a tarp. Use tarps. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jacqueline. It's cool to see you still on here. Yep. If you can't afford to get a good gear, get yourself a tarp. Those things are amazingly waterproof. Don't buy the cheapest of the cheapest ones you see. Get the heavy duty ones. And you look after it. Don't leave it out in the sun for too long. That thing will last you a lifetime. I've got a tarp here sitting up here on that I would have owned for about 30, 40 years. And if I pull it outside and open it up, it'll look like the day I bought it. But of course, like I said now, I don't need to use the tarps anymore. Because again, we're spoilt nowadays with the quality gear that we can get. I'm certainly spoilt, that's for sure. I'm quite happy with the setup I've got now. So yeah, okay. What do you guys yeah, me too, Anthony. What do you guys reckon? Should I take the risk and leave this video up or delete it? I don't know. I might leave it up. If someone starts jumping up and down complaining, I'll delete it then. So I'll leave it up for a day or two. I'll leave it as is and see what happens. But you got to be careful what you say about the angles. There's so many people. Same as the Travel Buddy, guys. It's exactly the same. Any of the components. I like to be honest and say what I think of them after owning one for quite a while. I mean, the Travel Buddies are great, but I wouldn't. I personally, I wouldn't buy one now. I wouldn't spend $250 or $280 on the Travel Buddy. If you got a 240-volt setup and you got a lithium battery, go buy a cheap little $50 air fryer. Does the job instead of spending $280 on a Travel Buddy. That's just the way I look at it. I haven't used my Travel Buddy since the day I bought that $50 air fryer. I kid you not. I used it once for a video review comparing the meat pies cooked and sausage rolls against the air fryer. That's the only time I ever used it since I bought my air fryers. And if you look back, I bought them quite a while back too. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I'll leave this video up. If people start jumping up and down and abusing me, and then I'll delete it. So cool. Yeah, be great to meet some of you folks down that put a face to many of you people. Make sure you come up to me and introduce yourself, guys. I can be a little bit of a shy people in amongst big crowds. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I can sometimes get a little bit shy if there's a lot of people around. But once you come up to me and meet me and start talking to me, then there's no issues then. So don't hesitate if you see me. Come up and say hello. And yeah, it'd be awesome. Can't wait. Should be good. And yeah, good stuff. I got got to prepare my vehicle, get my vehicle ready for the trip. The main thing I need to do is tidy up the wiring in my four-wheel drive. At the moment, it looks like it's just a mass big pot of spaghetti. I got that wire so many times. I'm good at putting together 12-volt systems and so on, but I'm not very good at making it look really nice. So it's a bit of a mess in there right now. The cables are all too long. So starting this Monday, I'm going to have to, I've been putting it off for weeks and weeks, but this Monday I'm going to have to get in that shed, rain, hail or shine. I'm going to have to start tidying that wire up. So otherwise, I'm just going to be too embarrassed to show anyone my electrical setup in that Pejero. So I'm going to try to get it looking very professional as much as I can. Wiring setup. So, and yeah. Wish me luck. You'll get to find out if I'm successful or not at the camping event. Okay, I better log off now. I'm a bit thirsty and it looks like we're down to 4 people. And we're almost hit 2 hours, guys. Another 45 seconds and we'll be 2 hours on live after Mr. Buccarini's event. So let's make it a goal, bring it up to 2 hours, and then I'll log off. So it's a great chat, guys, and we'll have to do this again. I'll have to try to work out how to do this with the other apps that I've got that are free. I don't want to continue using this one because I've got to pay $20 a month by the looks of it after next week. I'll have to ask Buck how he goes about it, whether he's found a way to use it for free. I'd imagine he must be paying the $20 a month to do this. So we just hit 2 hours. All right, that's it. That means it's knock off time. So, end broadcast. There it is. So, guys, cheers. Till next time, eh? See yous. Here we go.